Welcome to the next edition of Sweet New Deck or Sweet Deck List. I got 5 O's. I got 6 decks to talk about, 2 of which are the same deck with different takes on it, and we're gonna get into it. So some of these decks did not feature any new cards from the new set, minus the fact that it has technically cards that are already illegal, like Spectral Sailor is technically also in Foundations, but we're gonna talk about them as well. So if you like the series, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell for future videos. We're on our way to 2,000 subs. There is a link in the description, or actually in the title, for the ACG channel. Go check it out. We're going to be covering mainly tournament stuff related on there. Also, that's where the podcast hopefully will be at some point, regarding the formats Revolt and Voyager. So tournaments, all that stuff. If you want more information about any of that, go check out that channel instead. So let's get into these deck lists and and talk about them. So starting off, we have mono blue spirits. This deck got piloted to a 5-0 by Hiroki. He does this deck quite often, but I figured I might as well just go ahead and showcase it. This is a deck you can play on Arena. The new cards that are semi-new to this deck is the Escort, the little bird that gives something hexproof, basically more copies of Rattles, which is kind of nice. Nice little change. Makes the deck cost a little less. And I think this actually is a pretty reasonable build. We have all the best spirits. Still have the snares and the obsessions, which is just the reason to be in mono blue. We have Supreme Phantom as a lord. Like I said, we have a lot of 1 drops, which is kind of nice. We have Spell Pierce down here. And we have some Faithless Havens. For removal in the board, we do have 4 Fading Hopes plus a couple Unable to Screams. This one can make sure whatever we want to basically void out, like I said, has no abilities. For grinding matchups, we have Icon of Ancestry, which we can cast our spirits off shop our library. Ghost Vacuum for a little bit of graveyard hate against Control and other blue-based decks. We have 3 Disputes. And if we need some mana leaks type counters, we could bring in Lofty Denial to protect our threat a little bit more. That's mono blue spirits. Let's get into the next deck. So the next deck is a Yorion deck. We did discuss previously on this channel about the Simic one that's been making grounds. Well, this one, they just cut the blue and went white instead. So same kind of particular build. We did cut the 4-drop Frog because that was what blue was required. Instead, we get the 4 Overlords of the white ones. And I think only 3 of the green ones. And then we have our Get Lost, which is just a really good removal spell. We have 1 Gwenna, which is kind of weird, but it still does trigger a green shell. And it ramps us into green shell, which is kind of nice, I believe. Turn 3, turn 4, so that's a nice little curve. This version is playing the Goose. And we still have the Paw Patch formation and the Beanstalks for card draw and a little bit of enchantment removal. And we have March for also some enchantment removal. Against aggro, we have Portable Holes. Against Phoenix and Fang, we got some Rest in Peace for graveyard hate. 3, Elspeth Conquers Death. I'm not really sure what this matchup this is for. We can exile a creature and then tax something out, but I'm not really sure why you would want that. I believe the last mode is bring something back. We have a Knockout Blow for red-based decks, like Rakdos Prowess, to gain some life, deal damage to the creature, and kill it. Deafening Silence, this also helps against Phoenix. Potentially also, now that Lotus Field is going to come to Arena, it's nice to have that available as a way to just tax that effect out. So that is Selesnya Deserts, Green Shell Deserts for Pioneer. Let's get to the next. So next on my list is this Jeskai Ascendancy, with Emery and Rona being the key pieces. Trainer to help dig for our Ascendancy. We have a Boots as a way to give something haste to be able to go off with the Helix. We have 3 Deaths to help dig. 4 Portable Holes for aggro. And then we have a couple Flood Callers to basically boost up and keep untapping everything. So we can keep activating it. Flood Caller plus Helix plus cast. Mox Amber is technically infinite because it keeps untapping itself, I believe. And making it infinitely besides big. A couple Tormod's Crit for graveyard hate. Sideboard, we have some Spell Pierce to protect our Ronas, our Emerys, whatever. A couple Surge of Salvations protect us from Thoughtseize, so we keep our Jeskai Ascendancies in hand. 3 Torch of Towers for aggro. Destroy Evil for enchantments, removal, and maybe even a Shieldred. A couple Reckoner Bankbusters as a way to hate on or get card advantage against control. Disputes for a little bit of counter magic against control, stuff like that. And Radiant Flames is a nice way to deal with aggro. We can deal 3 damage to each creature because we do have 3 colors of mana. Spire is one of our primary ways of winning the game. We turn this as a creature land, and then we just keep untapping it. So, and it looks like, I think it's an elemental. Okay, elemental. So it does not work with Flood Caller, but that's still fine. That is Jeskai's Ascendancy. Now, the next 2 decks we have to talk about are the decks that are the same, under the same category. Let's get into those. I am now offering Patreon and Locals content exclusive. It includes sideboard guides, budget guides, exclusive videos, as well as other types of content. If you want to check out the link, it's in the description. Now, let's get back into the video. So we have Boros Burn and Boros Prowess. They're basically almost the same thing. This version cut the Slickshot Show-Offs, it looks like, for Eidolon of the Great Revel. Interesting choice. I wonder why they did that. It is playing 4 Kamanas with a Get Lava Runner Swift Spear. Weirdly enough, we're not playing the Soulscar Mage instead of Lava Runner. That's kind of weird. I actually would have thought you would want Soulscar Mage over Lava Runner. But we have Boltways for burn, Burst Lightning for burn, some Skewers, some card draw with Light Up the Stage, and Lightning Helix and Boros Charm, a nice 2-drop burn effects, a little bit of life gain against aggro too. 4 Portable Holes, a good against aggro, but I guess against aggro you really rather have Searing Blood. I guess Portable Hole must be for something in particular. I'm not sure what exactly hate piece we're worried about. We have 4 Rolling Vortexes for life gain hate. It's also really good against stuff like control. Mid-range with incremental damage is kind of nice. It also punishes Lotus Field players and Contorious players because they do cast a bunch of free spells. Screaming Nemesis is another way to prevent life gain. So we can bring that in, probably cut back on something else. Maybe Eidolon, because against Angels, it's probably not relevant. But yeah, so that's Boros Burn. Let's get into the Prowess version. You know, the key differences here is, of course, we're playing Slickshot Show-Off. We have 2 Scream Nemesis in the main, instead of 2 Skewers, it looks like. And we cut back on some Lightning Helixes. It is probably one of the worst of the burn spells. We don't play any play with fires. Yeah, so both versions cut play with fire. I would have honestly would have kept play with fire over probably Lightning Helixes or something. Just having that extra early burn is kind of nice, but Kamano still, some Monstrous Rage still. Like I said, we have 4 Boros Charms, just the best 2-drop burn spell. Sideboard, we have this version has Deflecting Palm, which is really nice against something like Atraxa and Valgavoth, preventing that damage, and they don't gain lifelink, which is nice. 4 Mage Bane Lizards as a way to fight through Phoenix. Maybe even Lotus Field and stuff like that, where they do cast some, decent amount of non-creature spells. 3 Kari Zev's Expertise. This is really good against like demons, where you just take their best threat and just smash them with it, or even mono green. Running Volley for Angels, mono Celestia Coco, stuff like that. There's 2 Rest in Peace. Not sure about Rest in Peace in a burn deck because it's not usually necessary, but that's for Phoenix and Fang. That is Boros Prowess for Pioneer. Let's get into the last list. I am now offering Patreon and Locals content exclusive. It includes sideboard guides, budget guides, exclusive videos, as well as other types of content. If you want to check out the link, it's in the description. Now, let's get back into the video. The last list is Nib Mizzet. Now, this deck is featuring the new 4-drop, I believe. That's why I selected it. Maybe I'm missing it. Yeah, maybe. Oh, there it is. It's right here. So the new Olinda sometimes is now seeing play in Nib Mizzet because it is a Orsov card, and you can get it off of a Niv Reborn, so that's kind of nice. And this is a great time to talk about it because in a few weeks we will have access to the Pioneer Masters. So Arena event is going to have Bring to Light. So that's a huge change. So this deck now can officially be played on Arena, which is nice. We have Helixes for a little bit of life gain against aggro. We have Pillage of Hog for a little bit of card advantage for selection. Binding and Verse, Premier removal spells. Clarion. Also Push is a good removal spell. K-Command as a way to fight artifacts and make them discard. Like I said, Clarion's a little bit of a nice little sweeper. Nihiri gets our Niv, and it returns it, and then we get to play it again, get more card advantage. Omnath, because it's just an amazing card in general. ETBs draws a card and gets a lot of incremental stuff. We have one Niv Supreme, because it has Hexproof from monocolor stuff. Then we get to buy back our caster stuff, up to Beanstalk. It just works really well in the deck. We have a lot of 5-drops that we could just cast and get an extra card. And we have a Knight of Autumn we could tutor for off of the Niv. It hits artifacts and enchantments. Gains life and also gets counters on it. So that's really nice. And a Valkyrie, which works really well with Bring to Light. And we have a Sunfall down here we can get off of Bring to Light if we need to. Now, against aggro, we have 3 more copies of Fatal Push and a Deafening Clarion. Against Lotus Field and stuff like that, Quintorius, we have Damping Sphere. Also, maybe relevant against mono green with Nykthos. Dovin's Veto for combo and control. 4 Rest in Peace for Fang and Phoenix. Another item, Alinda, as a way, I think this has lifelink. So that's also pretty relevant against like aggro. We have a Wear Terror. Can hit artifacts and enchantments. And of course, we are Yorion deck. So that is all the list I have to talk to you guys about today. Like I said, if you're interested in Ether Clash, make sure you go sub to that channel. Hopefully we can get that up to 1,000 subs in no time. So go ahead and try to do that. I would very much appreciate it. It really is going to help go a long way helping out the channel, the tournament series grow. So go do that, please. Like I said, we're going to be trying to do a lot of Revolt tournaments right now because it's technically live. See how that pans out. See how the community likes it. Like I said, Revolt is modern without MH sets and Universes Beyond. So go check that out because it's really nice. And I thought about doing a series where I basically get an arena account from scratch and try to showcase maybe like a month or however long, taking one of the decks, migrate it to an optimal deck for Explorer, and then going down the list of all the starter decks and trying to migrate them into a dominant deck for Explorer purposes. Because I don't care about Standard, but Explorer, I think that would be a nice way of, if you are a new Explorer player, to get into Arena. So if you want that, let me know down in the comment section and check out the other channel because that is where that would be featured if I do it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Shout out to all my supporters. And if you want to see any other content from me, check out either one of these 2 videos and playlist. And I'll talk to you soon.